Welcome to another edition of ECAC Decision Makers. More times than not, we get some spectacular guests here. This one is one of the all-time great guests, Pierre Mounsey. So happy to have you, a Brown alum, an Olympic gold medal winner, but nothing better than to be part of the newest class of the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame, and you'll be inducted on December 10th. Welcome aboard, and thank you for doing ECAC Hockey Decision Makers, Tara.
Thank you, Pierre, and thank you to the ECAC family for having me a part of this program.
How could they not? Think about your distinguished record. It's not just in hockey either. It's baseball on the guys' side. It's unbelievable playing field hockey at Brown University. And I wanted to kind of start there. How important was it in your hockey journey to play all these other sports, Tara?
Yeah, I was lucky, Pierre. I could play multiple sports growing up, and the landscape has definitely shifted. But these other sports, in some capacity, they gave me a break from ice hockey. And I expanded my social network, got to, learn from different types of athletes and also tweak different muscles in my body. Running 5 miles to train for field hockey is different than sprinting as you train for ice hockey. And I really think all of that training, that unique in each way, made me the athlete that I became.
It started at a young age for you. I know the stories are legendary. You were the captain of a boys team in high school up in Concord, New Hampshire. Can you take us through what that dynamic was like for you as a leader of a guy's team as a female?
Yeah, that was an incredibly powerful experience. I had played with those group of boys since I was like a mite, and I played right with them, and I became one of the players, one of their teammates rather than the girl on their team. And it was really incredible to watch their respect for me as a female, me as a hockey player, a person, and the trust that they instilled in me to lead them as a female in an all male league. I think there might have been one or two other girls on other teams, but they voted me captain. They trusted me, and they stood up for me if any other players decided to not think quite properly on the ice. My players took care of me. I took care of them.
What a good story. I love the way you phrase that. That's good. That's how hockey's supposed to be. Wolfpack mentality. I love that. Do you remember where you were and how you heard that you were going to be a member of the 1998 Women's U.S. Olympic Hockey Team?
It was in Lake Placid, New York, which is one of my favorite places on earth because of the incredible experiences and achievements that I learned of while I was there, right? So I was selected to the 1998 team in this small room, second level in the dorms at the U.S. Olympic Training Center, where I had been going since I was 14 years old. And to have it all come together there was very, very special. And I love to go there now with my family because it's just this instant feeling of just amazingness.
I love going to Lake Placid. I have the privilege of doing the men's and women's tournament, and now the women are moving there full time
That's
for
what
the
I heard. That's
ECAC
great.
championship. I'm so pumped for that, Tara. I got to tell you, I'm so excited for the women and the men. I have to ask you, how much do you talk to Ben Smith, your coach in the 98 team?
I don't talk to him often, but once in a while, he and I will exchange a text message, or I'll talk to a teammate that has just talked to, Ben or Julie. And it's always amazing to hear from him. And he's just such an incredibly kind, driven and respectful coach. Like, he really respected each athlete, yet found a way to get us to that next level. And he is just an incredible human.
I don't think people realize how good a player he was at Harvard University. He played for a coach named Cooney Weiland, who's a living coaching legend in U.S. college hockey. And like the legacy of the Smith family and the Taylor family, Timmy Taylor, who's an unbelievable, was a very dear friend of his before he passed. I got to tell you this one, because I don't think you've ever heard this. Ben Smith's your biggest fan. And when I was talking to Ben before you and I had a chance to sit down, Tara, I asked him, I said, describe Tara. Like, I knew your game really well. I had watched you play at Brown. I'd watched you play internationally. And he said, Pierre, I'm going to read, and I want to read this so I get it right. She's an all-time great player. She was a trailblazer. She changed the way the women's game was played. When you hear that, what do you think?
Well, I played rough, and I brought an element of physicality to the game that was my style. Is what I had grown up playing. I played with the boys right through my senior year in high school, and I got better back then by playing with the boys because there weren't as many options. And I was able to bring some of that into the women's game, which was really fun. Yes, it landed me on the penalty box a little more than many of my coaches and teammates would probably have preferred. But I played fierce, and I every shift I was going out there to give it my all for my teammates. And that's what I did. That was my role. It's a bit of an enforcer. I used to be a little bigger than I am now. And I loved it. I loved stepping on that ice. I loved competing. I still love to compete.
What Coach Smith also said is you changed the dynamic of Canada versus USA. He says, in order for there to be a rivalry, there has to be passion and some dislike. And he said you were the vehicle that helped change the identity of that series. Do you remember any situations in particular that you may have been part of that could have changed that type of series?
Well, I don't remember exact situations, but in overall, an overarching role of mine, Angela, Jenny Schmidgall, we were the youngest players, and we didn't have, fortunately and unfortunately, the history with Canada that some of the veterans on our team had. And much of the history had been come in second place, come in second place, come in second place. And that eats away at you a little bit and leaves you like feeling a little less confident. And but the younger players, we didn't have that as much as the veterans. And I that was our role, was to shift the belief and make our team as a whole believe that we were better than them.
Mhm.
We were stronger than them. On paper, skill for skill, maybe we weren't as skilled as them. That's debatable. But we believed, we got our team to a space where we were going to win. And as a group, that's how we played.
What a great statement. How much did that victory by the Americans in the 98 Olympics in Nagano change the way women's hockey has grown?
Yeah, Pierre, I don't know the exact stats, but I did at one point. I'll have to look again. It's it's incredible. The number of young girls now having the opportunity to play a sport that I think is phenomenal, in terms of you don't have to have a certain body type. You don't have to be right-handed, left-handed, or certain foot dominant. Anyone can play. If you can learn how to skate, we'll find a spot for you that works for exactly who you are. And I think that's the beautiful part about this sport, and that young girls can really thrive out on the ice, with their friends.
How much did your time at Brown playing for Digit Murphy change your way of appreciating the game?
Yeah, Digit really further instilled passion. As you know, Digit's a passionate person, one of the most passionate people I think I know, and she instilled that in her players. She was a tough coach, but I had grown up with really tough coaches, thankfully, and Digit helped carry on that mentality that winner take all. Like Digit was fierce, a fierce competitor, and that's what I took away from Digit, is her passion, her fierceness, and her knowledge for the game.
It's tremendous to hear. I remember watching Digit when she was a young coach. I was like, she might burn out. She's a little bit empty. She was, she wanted to get after it big time. I always appreciated that about her.
She was always have on the ice, she was like leaning over the boards, and I'm like, is she gonna grab me? What is she gonna do? And she
Uh,
was, Katie King and I, um, Karen Emma, Danielle Solari, or Becky Keller, who played on the US
Yep.
on the Canada team. We played hard for Digit, and she was a good fit for us.
You guys had a wagon there too at Brown, by the way. I mean, me and
We did.
Auditorium was jumping when you ladies were there. There's no question about it. How much did field hockey, you think, help your approach to ice hockey?
I stepped over to field hockey after the 98 games. I just wasn't ready to get back on the ice, and I loved field hockey. I'm like, let's just give this a try. Reached out to the coach, and she's like, sure, you can come on out and try out. And it really was the coach of the field hockey program and the players that allowed me to do something else, yet stay within my likeness of a high level athlete. We
Mhm.
took that team and we went to the NCAA tournament, and the coach Carolyn Norris, she was tough, right? She was in a different way than Digit, but she knew her game. She got everything out of her players. She was incredible, and so were those athletes. And in these team sports, you're only as good as the people around you. And that's right down from the athletic training staff to the people that take care of the field to the bus driver. It's everyone. And that's the beautiful part about these team experiences. But field hockey really, I was able to rejuvenate my love for hockey on the field hockey field. And I'm thankful for every moment I spent wearing a Brown University field hockey jersey.
When you were playing, there were some really high end teams in the ECAC, and there were some lower end teams because for a lot of the women's programs, it was just starting out. I look at the ECAC women's games now, and I'm going, man, oh man, this conference from top to bottom is elite. I mean, it's really good. Do you have a time frame, Tara, where it may have changed, where you like everybody was good on every single game? Did you see that happening?
I don't think that when I played it was ever really like that. But you're right. I'll go to games now, and there are fewer and fewer high scoring lopsided games, and those are really fun to watch and to watch the game. It's just a testament to the number of young girls and women playing, and to the level that the game has been able to elevate to. So there isn't just more volume of players, the quality has also risen, which is very incredible.
I find it unbelievable to watch the growth from where it was in '98 to where we are now going into the 26 Olympics. And everybody can't wait for that showdown between Canada and the United States. I got to share this with you. I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but I was at the '06 Olympics in Italy when the United States got upset by Sweden. And Kim Martine was the goalie that pulled the Ken Dryden performance of all time. It was amazing. And all I remember from that Olympics is watching the American women leave the rink. And I was like, you know what? I know what they feel like. It's just, it must be the worst ever to do all that prep and then to have that happen. Did that ever happen to you in your career?
The one time that comes to mind was the year at Brown when I was playing with Katie King. She was a senior, I was a freshman. We were undefeated all season, and then we lost either in the quarterfinals or semifinals. I think it was to Providence. I don't remember exactly who it was. But we were playing at Matthews Arena, and we lost when we should have outright won the
Mhm.
whole tournament. And that really that was a huge letdown. So that those seasons are special, but they're hard. It's hard to go without a loss, and everyone's coming for you. So I don't love it's special to be undefeated, but it's not a place where you really want to be.
When you got the call from the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame and they told you, congratulations, Tara, you're about to be in the newest class of 2025. And on December the 10th in St. Paul, Minnesota, you're being inducted in the Hall of Fame. What went through your mind?
Yeah, I actually teared up, Pierre, and I don't tear up for times of joy. It's just not how I emotionally respond to happiness. But I teared up. I was caught off guard. I had no idea why Pat Kelleher was calling me. And I was driving in my car, and I know exactly where I was. And I at first didn't really believe him. I'm like, is my team getting inducted? No, we're already in it. I was doing all this like mental gymnastics, and then I kind of settled down and realized like, whoa, this is a big deal. What an honor.
What an amazing class you're going in with. Bruce Bennett, who's a longtime NHL photographer. I've been around, I've been in the NHL for 37 years, and Bruce has been there every step of the way, and his work is just magnificent. So that's a dignified class member of yours. Scott Gomez, Stanley Cup winner, Alaska kid, just an amazing story and cares so much about his teammates and the infrastructure of hockey. Zach Parise might be the best value pick of all time by the New Jersey Devils. Just an amazing career, and it all started for him at Shattuck St. Mary's. But Joe Pavelski, of all the players that I've known, 205th in his draft year in the best draft class ever, 2003. It's your class is off the charts. I'm fortunate. I'm on the Hockey Hall of Fame selection committee, and when I got the call from Lanny McDonald, I cried too. I did. I was like, oh my, and I wasn't even getting inducted. I was the guy that was going to be doing the inducting.
Right, right.
And so I heard your story. It is emotional. And I look at your class, and when they asked me to do this for the ECs, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't, what a class.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
incredible. It's incredible. And the honor in itself it's not just a New Hampshire award. It's not just a New England award. It's not a Brown award. It is a U.S. hockey honor. And I'm really just humbled by it.
Well, they're fortunate to have you. It's an amazing career that you've had. I got to ask you about this Olympics coming up. Have you had a chance to follow the development of some of the ladies that are coming into the program and what you think could happen?
Yeah, I really haven't had time to do a deeper dive into the current team, but I will here leading up over the next couple of months and to really get behind these athletes and this Olympics because we want to win and that's it takes all of us. So whenever we can be a part of the process, I think it's important.
Do you have a behind the scenes story from after you won in 1998 that we need to know?
Oh, I have a cute behind the scenes story. We had these cell phones that really back then we didn't really have phones, but AT&T gave us all phones. And so as soon as I won, my grandmother wasn't well enough to fly to Japan. But I remember getting to the locker room and calling her and just sharing that moment with her. That was really special for me.
No,
She didn't miss any of my games growing up. She was feisty in the stands, yelling at my opponents. And, she's where I get my feistiness from. My dad's side brought the athleticism from my dad, and then my mom's side was more that grit, fierceness.
You talked about Katie King, who's a Brown alum and obviously the coach at Boston College. You live in the Boston area. Do you talk to Katie much about the development of women's hockey?
I do. I like to have discussions with Katie about the youth sports and the culture of youth sports. That's another conversation for another time. But I love the stories that Katie lives 3 miles from me, so we get together often. My favorite story is, she's coaching, and so her and Courtney were coaching together. They told the team, "Hey, why don't you go out and play some pickup? We're gonna go over a few more things. Just go have some fun on the ice, make a couple teams, and play." And Kinger laughed, and she's like, 10 minutes later, we go out, and they're all standing there. And she looks and pulls the captains over. She's like, "What's going on?" Like, "Coach, we don't know what to do." She's like, no, you put the sticks in the middle. Someone closes their eyes, you throw the sticks, you pick your teams, you put a puck in, and they're like, "And then what?" And she's like, "You play." And so that's really like one of my favorite stories because it's just gives you a really good visual for any hockey person that knows, my age or up or whatever. that how these athletes have shifted in the game itself, right? The athletes now are so structured. They're if the ponds freeze, we're lucky they get out and play, and it's the best time that they can spend on the ice. But that doesn't happen as often anymore. So these kids just know how to do drills and follow an agenda and work on their skating or their stick skills. They don't know how to just play. So I thought that was really a fun story.
It's tremendous. We need more of that. And that's why I asked you about your multi-athletic career, because it's not just hockey for you. It's been all these different sports, especially at the university level. You know, when you play field hockey at a Division I level and you play hockey at a Division I level and you're a Patty Kazmaier finalist like you were and an Olympic gold medalist, it shows you how great the diversification was in your career to help you get to another level. I would have
Yeah,
loved to have seen you play more pro hockey, though. I can tell
yeah.
you that right now.
I would have loved to play pro hockey as well. I've gone to a few of the flea games, and I get goosebumps in the stands when it's almost sold out, and people are there waving, you know, towels and cheering, and it's just an electric environment. Um, I hope these athletes realize how special that is, because we played in so many empty arenas, and that's when that's not necessarily a bad thing. Once in a while, as you learn, you're playing just for the love of the game,
Yeah.
not for other people. But to go and play in front of a crowd is really exhilarating, and it was exhilarating for me just being in the stands.
One of the coolest things I was ever a part of was the gold medal game in 2010 between Canada and US women. And it was the coming out party for Marie-Philippe Poulin. And I've seen a lot of great women players over the years. You know, you could go Ellen Weinberg, you can go Tara Mounsey, you can go Chrissy Wendell Pohl, you can go Natalie Darwitz. I've seen them all grow over the course of time. I think her performance at the 2010 gold medal game changed the whole direction for where women's hockey could go. I really believe that. And I can't believe she's still playing. I find her to be a phenom, just an unbelievable phenom.
She's special. I went to one of the PWHL games, was against her team, and she's just a special two-way player. Just the shot is incredibly quick. She's the whole package on the ice, and she really is fun to watch. She's clutch. How many clutch goals and decisions that she's been a part of. She is incredible.
Tara, I can't thank you enough for taking the time. I'm so excited for your induction on December the 10th into the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame. This is so well earned and deserved. It's going to be phenomenal. Your class, again, is spectacular. Good for you. Enjoy the rest of this 2025 and the Olympics in 26. Thank you for being part of ECAC Hockey Decision Makers. You are spectacular, young lady. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Pierre. Again, thank you to the ECAC, and best of luck to all teams, all athletes this year. I'll be watching.
Thank you.